Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudcast number 748, the right-wing Batman, Lockup, Batman the Animated Series, or the old original series from the 90s. This is a video from, let's see this guy's name, Serum Lake. Serum Lake? And he's got about 13,000 subs, and he breaks this 8-minute video down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about. The thumbnail's a bit misleading. I don't know if politics is going to be part of this. I can't see how, because we're talking about Batman the Animated Series. But I'm curious because I barely remember this stuff from the 90s. I know I watched it, but I couldn't tell you what was the substance of it, what was the political messaging of it. I really don't think there is no political message in the Batman Animated Series aside from criminals are bad, and Batman is trying to stop that. So, yeah, that's all I can remember from the political messaging of the animated series of Batman. Anyway, Gigabit's will be popping in later, and Whisp might be popping in later. We don't know yet. We'll find out. But for 8 minutes, I think we can go on normal speed and not worry about taking too long with this guy. So Serum Lake, here we go. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Batman the Animated Series found several original characters that would one day find their way to the mainline DC Comics. The most well-known of these characters are, of course, Harley Quinn, Renee Montoya, and the Condiment King. Don't at me, he's in the Lego Batman movie, it doesn't get bigger than that. But there are a handful of other lesser-known characters that debuted in BTAS that also made their way to the comics. Today I'm looking at one such character, Lyle Bolton, also known as Lockup. Bolton made his debut in the episode Lockup as the new head of security at Arkham Asylum. I kind of feel like there's a pun hidden in his name. Bolton, as in deadbolt, part of a lock. Given that Paul Dini came up with the character and his penchant for very on-the-nose real names for his villains, Harleen Quinzel, Mary Doll, etc., it was very likely intentional. Our introduction to Bolton comes with Batman and Robin returning the Scarecrow to Arkham Asylum. It seems that the Master of Fear had escaped from Arkham in order to get away from Bolton and his cruel and unusual forms of discipline. It's genuinely unnerving to see the Scarecrow scared out of his mind at the prospect of being handed over to Bolton. When we first see him, Bolton is a hulking silhouette, standing atop a set of stairs, looming over Batman, Robin, and the Scarecrow. This is the very first parallel between Bolton and Batman to be made. How many times have we seen Batman casting an intimidating shadow over some ne'er-do-wells? Still, Batman also notes that he's concerned by the Scarecrow's reaction to Bolton and, as Bruce Wayne, calls for an inquest into Bolton's conduct. This ultimately uncovers the means Bolton goes to in order to keep the inmates in line. With his misconduct unearthed and his position in jeopardy, Bolton explodes with anger and violence, lashing out at those that would impede his mission, to keep the scum of the earth locked up. Bolton's rage is a direct reaction to his own feelings of losing control. In fact, the very act of locking people away is a form of control. He takes away their liberty, implementing cruel forms of punishment to break their spirits and force them to behave in a way that he deems appropriate.
You should all be locked up in a cage without a key!
When we see Bolton at
So Bolton goes to the extremes. It's shown very early on that he's not all there whenever it comes to what is punishable for the offenses of the villains.
Is there any particular reason why he's this way? He's just a very enthusiastic guy who works at Arkham? Is that it? Like, is that all he's just some guy?
He wants to ensure order in Gotham. He's tired of the villains getting out constantly and having to be put back into Arkham. He sees it as a what's the word I'm looking for? He sees it as the politicians, the psychiatrists, and the cops not doing their jobs properly, and that he's going to step in and use his own methods to ensure that the villains are subjugated to the point that they don't escape anymore, that way they don't get out into Gotham and wreak havoc among the innocent people, and that they're either unwilling or too afraid of him to actually get out of Arkham again.
Right. So it sounds like a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest Nurse Ratched sort of character. She's in total control of her wing, and everyone has to adhere to her rules or face disciplinary rules, whatever those might be. So very, I'm going to say, gold-colored personality matrix kind of guy, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So just a control freak.
In a large empty room. The only furniture we see is his chair and his television, taking minimalism to the extreme. For someone that...
that's fine. I mean, this is just a cartoon, and we don't need to know about his personal life. It's fine. Look at the size of his penthouse. It's gigantic.
Remember, Smud, the personal lives of the criminals is a very important factor in this show.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, it's minimalism. It's like, it's gigantic. They want, portraits and artwork and, shoes lying around. Like, what do they want? That's a weird... motif to say, well, look at the Batmans. It's like, it's animation, it's dark, it's supposed to be over the top, melodramatic at times, at least visually. We're talking about Gotham City, which is a melodramatic representation of New York in a certain time frame. And it's not technically Art Deco, though they kind of keep the Tim Burton vibe alive. So
it's Art Deco.
I mean, it was supposed to be a tie-in to the Burton verse before it was made its own thing.
Right, and look at the windows and their strange frames. They're all bent. It doesn't make any sense. No one would design.
Honestly, I don't see a problem with Bolton's living situation. It's pretty much how mine is set up.
Just gigantic penthouse, huge ceilings, just all this empty space.
All I have in my apartment is my bed and my desk, and then shoved into the closet is a dresser drawer and my clothes hanging on the line.
Yeah, this could easily.
Then again, you just moved, didn't you?
Well, I mean,
October.
This could easily be Bruce Wayne's mansion because it's gigantic. So it's not a big deal how he's depicted visually.
But no, you mentioned that. But even Wayne Manor has in a similar sized room has pretty much everything you'd expect.
Oh yeah, but there's plenty of scenes of Bruce and his gigantic window, and he's always standing around it or looking out of it, and a really big onesie chair and something going on. I don't know, someone walks in and he has a monologue. This is typical. This is not characteristic of the character. This is just how they depict characters in Batman the Animated Series.
But this is telling about Lyle in this case.
I can't really grasp anything aside from he's got a lot of money and he doesn't buy superfluous things. He is minimalist in that degree. It's like, yeah, but so is everyone else.
Yeah, I mean the one of Bolton's characteristics that he is also in some moments a representation of the saying of the path of least resistance.
Okay.
Hence the minimalist thing.
The permissive liberal media, the television is the central point of his home and the only thing for him to focus his attention upon. When he tips the television over, smashing it, that is the moment that Lockup is born. When Robin later breaks into Bolton's home, we see that the entire place is similarly sparse, and the TV is still smashed on the floor 6 months later. His small bedroom contains a single fold-up bed, the absolute bare minimum needed to get by. Very practical, with nothing to make the place feel like a home. If anything, it resembles a cell or a barracks. It's kind of funny, but also very sad that when BTAS first aired, this kind of personality would be viewed as extreme. But in this day and age, he'd probably get his own segment on Fox News. When Bolton re-emerges at Lockup, he sets about imprisoning those he views as the real criminals.
I would say just the news in general. Why Fox specifically?
Because right-wing bad.
I know, but I'm just like, damn, dude.
So because he's a very Spartan fellow in his mannerisms or living conditions, he would get his own spot on Fox News as a contributor or something. I don't. What does that have to do with? What is he talking about? Okay, whatever. I've lost the analogy, but sure.
Decline of the city, the liberal permissive media, the coddling doctors, the gutless police, the mindless bureaucrats. Lockup is essentially a far-right version of Batman. No compassion, no mercy.
I'm not You think Batman has compassion? He beats the shit out of people. What are you talking about?
Batman does show that he does care about the villains on a deeper level, of a more psychological level. He relates to the people that he's putting away, and he wants them to get better.
I think Batman or Bruce is smart enough to understand. Like that, his whole thing is the Batman gambits or the way he deals with crime is he understands the criminal, so he knows what they're going to do next. So he knows how the Joker would behave. He knows how all these villains would behave because he's dealt with them so many times. But he's pretty brutal. Like he beats. Like you look at Batman Beyond, old Batman. He just beats the shit out of criminals. He terrifies them.
Yeah, but that's mainly the thugs, the cartels, and the mafia. In terms of the super criminals, that's where the whole relatability thing kicks in with him.
Like,
because because he's basically at that same level as them.
Yeah, like with Thomas Elliot, they were friends whenever they were kids, and Thomas Elliot tried to kill his own parents so that way they were out of the way, but Bruce's parents saved his mom.
Thomas Wayne. Yeah, Elliot did what he did so he could inherit the money from his parents, but Thomas Wayne, being the best surgeon of his time in Gotham, like you said, he was able to save Elliot's mom.
Yeah. If anything, Lockup is just a representation of Batman if he didn't have the compassion for the villains.
Yeah.
I would say in general, just because he's so Spartan and militaristic or physical, like he's just like this Hulk of a man, and it's my way or the highway. Like Batman at least compromises here and there.
Yeah, because that's the physical representation of his authority.
Yeah, but it's not.
That's why that dies.
It's not political. It's not. There's nothing behind him politically, or like how do you politicize a guy running around beating up criminals outside of the municipality or the city councilors saying, "Oh, this is not part of our legislation. No one sponsors this guy. What is going on? We have a guy running around catching criminals. What do we do?" I don't see how that's a political thing.
It's not.
And how this guy is like the opposite of how is Batman left leaning or liberal? Like I don't get that. I'm a little confused here. Anyway, it's a weird thing to say about a nemesis that they're just like him, only right wing. You're like, what?
Well, he is mostly like Batman, except like we said, it's like without the compassion for the higher tier criminals that, as the episode shows, Lockup clearly lacks.
Yep.
Okay.
Like, you just need to have the compassion and not have the mentality of these people don't deserve to be out until they are fixed. Even if they're good, they still deserve to be punished while they're locked up. But that's one thing that Harley literally says is like, he still treats us horribly even if we're not doing anything and we're actually being good inmates.
Yeah. Although I do
because he lacks the compassion.
I do.
And again, it's like you could go even further because one could argue more deeply that it's because Batman is self-aware enough to realize that he is psychologically on their level, while Bolton is not that self-aware about his condition.
Right. And I do like the fact that once you're in Arkham, it's not just, okay, we're going to coddle you and we're going to make sure you have therapy. Because every time they come out of Arkham, they're all the same. Nothing can fix them, these people. And this is kind of like Batman's going to scare the shit out of you, and this guy's going to scare the shit out of you when you're captured by Batman. So it's just constant fear. And it's
also, I do like the fact that they used two other characters that were also former Arkham staff just to prove how bad, just to prove how fierce about it Bolton is in the first place, which are Harley and Crane. I think Hugo Strange was a thing in the anime. I don't think he was a thing in the animated series at this point, or he was. I don't remember. But Hugo Strange, he's another former Arkham staff member.
I think he was already in the series at this point.
Really?
But not all that utilized, because by this point he was still pretty obscure. Wouldn't be until Arkham City where more people knew about him. Or at least Arkham Asylum, because he has a bio in there, but still.
I'm trying to remember when Hush came out. Was he already written before that?
Yeah.
Hush was a thing before this.
Hush was from the 90s. Hugo Strange has been around since, I think, the 70s?
I think, like, very late Silver Age, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I don't remember if Hush was a thing by the time of this episode, but yeah, he was 90s.
I'm just using that comparison just because the guy reminds me so much of what they did in that story, and plus Hugo Strange, so it's like, okay. It's close. All right, let's keep going.
Punishment. Robert Skier, one of the writers of the episode, has cited Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver as a big influence on the character of Lyle Bolton. The scene at Bolton's home where he tips over the television is a direct reference to a similar scene in Taxi Driver, where Travis destroys his TV as a result of his frustrations with the way his personal life is going. Lockup's dialogue would not sound out of place as part of one of Travis's monologues.
This city is an open wound begging to be stitched.
Looking at Lockup's costume, it features the same colour scheme as Batman's. The main difference here is that Lockup's eyes are exposed, while Batman's cowl only shows his mouth. I have no idea of the significance of this. You could potentially view it as Lockup being an upside-down reflection of Batman, but ultimately the exposed eyes allow for more expressions to come through. The outline of Bolton's mouth can be seen through his mask, especially when he spends much of his time screaming and shouting.
I think it's an analogy for, like, looking authority in the eye. That being a big thing in the justice system, I believe.
Yeah, and that being his whole, and he's always watching people, so him wanting to be able to watch the inmates and everything, it makes sense that his outfit would show the eyes more prominently than anything else.
Yep.
It's interesting. I see more of an aesthetic thing. The thing with the mouth is a bit weird, but that's okay. I don't mind that.
That's on. Yeah, you can just ignore that. Other than that, like, it's this whole thing. The aesthetic still works. I think that's also a matter of they wanted I think it's like you said just now. The more expressive parts of the face to still come out. I think that's why they still have his mouth exposed like that. Well, not exposed, but we can still see it.
Yeah, and I think his ability is really good at using locks, apparently, to stop things from opening or to stop cars from moving or
security technology. Yeah,
right. So that's mechanical, electrical, whatever. So cool stuff. It's a decent villain of the week, I guess.
Also, to clarify, Tyra Preston clarified that Hush appeared in 2003, so Hush was after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Batman number 609.
Okay.
Rough. Yeah, I believe so.
Lockup's simplistic view on life, as many on the right tend to do. Everything is black and white. There's good, there's bad, there's right and there's wrong. Anything that isn't right is wrong, and therefore must be locked up. There's not much room for shades of grey. While Lockup responds to the mentally unwell with violence and oppression, Batman is compassionate towards his foes. Yes, Batman is capable of responding with violence, but note that when he was returned to Arkham, the Scarecrow had not been brutalised. Then we look at Bolton's expression when the Scarecrow is handed over to his custody. He genuinely seems to relish the opportunity to impose his will on Scarecrow. The client
hadn't been brutalised. The entire reason why Crane escaped was because of Bolton's tactics.
Yeah, no, he's talking about Batman brutalizing Scarecrow whenever he...
Oh, okay, Batman. Okay, yeah, Batman doesn't... Yeah, you're right. Batman just doesn't go there. Yeah. Okay, so never mind.
takes place on board a sinking ship, which isn't exactly a subtle metaphor for Lockup's schemes falling apart, but I really enjoy it. I'm also very fond of the ending with Lockup finding himself in Arkham, where he can keep a closer eye on the inmates. The final shot of Lockup peering out of his cell door, with only his eyes being visible, evokes his mask, indicating that even without his costume, Lyle Bolton is completely gone. All that remains is Lockup, and that was a really neat visual. Lockup only appeared in one episode and made a handful of appearances in the tie-in comics, but never in a particularly major capacity. I think this is because, ultimately, this episode says absolutely everything there is to say about the character. His most recent appearance in Batman Adventures Continue Season 3 cast him as muscle for hire, working for the mob. This feels like a bit of a betrayal of his beliefs, which Batman points out to him, displaying some real cognitive dissonance on Lockup's part. Now, speaking of the comics, Lockup was one of the first BTAS characters to make their way to the main comic book continuity. Lockup made his first appearance in Robin 24, published in January of 1996, and has made several appearances in issues of Detective Comics, usually turning up and apprehending the villain of the story right at the end before vanishing into the night. His first major story, Detective Comics 697 through to 699, was an immediate follow-up to his appearance in Robin. The story revolved around Batman, Robin and Nightwing getting involved after Lockup kidnapped Two-Face and locked him away in his secret prison. Lockup reappeared a few years later as the jailer of Blackgate Prison during the No Man's Land crossover. He was featured in a 3-part story where Batman sends Nightwing to liberate Blackgate from Lockup's control. While Batman had initially tolerated Lockup, it was on the understanding that he wouldn't torture the prisoners. Guess how long it took before that deal was broken. In both stories, Bolton's solution to dealing with problematic inmates is to drown them. I'm not sure of the significance of Lockup attempting to drown people. Perhaps it was a callback to the BTAS episode where Lockup's prisoners almost drowned?
Yes, it was. Also, if I can say this, I am genuinely surprised Lockup never made the transition to Arkham. The games.
Yeah, I could see him having been part of it, especially with the asylum incident being a way for
I
him
honestly see him fitting more in Arkham City, working under Strange. I'm just like, why wasn't he like honestly, Arkham City would have done him justice because it wasn't just it wasn't just the island. In that case, it had a whole chunk of Arkham City for Lockup to play in with the criminals, or at the very least, a challenge map pack like Deathstroke got in Origins. Not even that.
Tyler, to answer your question, Gotham has Blackgate as a prison.
Yeah, Blackgate's the main prison. I think is Bell Rev Gotham as well, or is that somewhere else?
That's also Gotham, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Gotham has Bell Rev and Blackgate as like the main prison as prisons for the justice system,
But
and Arkham's for the loonies.
Yeah, most storylines take place around Arkham because that's where most of the villains go because they're all mentally unsound.
Most, because I do know for a fact that at least Catwoman and Penguin do not qualify for Arkham.
No,
those two are most of the time. Those two are put in Blackgate.
All right, here is the Copperell. Thank you, sir. Lockup looks like me in my balaclava. well, I mean, you put any kind of mask on, you could probably look like Bane. It's the very similar idea. He's got the well, it depends on who draws him, of course, but you're a lucha libre sort of looking dude, whether you're Bane or some guy in a balaclava.
Oh, so Copperell, that's what you did when someone called your book art Ruby. You put on your balaclava, cosplay like Lockup. I still remember that. I'm not letting that go.
But Caesar also points out a good thing, or not Caesar. Fucking, I saw it. Never mind. But it's about. It gave me the idea of seeing things in black and white. I don't think Lockup actually does see everything in black and white. Otherwise, he would see Batman as operating outside the law, and even himself as operating outside the law to impose authority. But because Batman isn't breaking malicious crimes, he's considered a good guy to lock up.
Yeah,
he's aware enough to realize that Batman is still ultimately on the right side. The reason why he's opposing Batman is because Batman is trying to stop him.
Right. And they're both using extreme methods, and that's pretty much how they're defined. If Batman was just a guy who tranquilized everyone, like that would be a pretty straightforward method of stopping villains. But because he actually tries to intimidate and get to know them, and then when they don't agree with him, he physically uses violence. Whereas Lockup is like, no, I'm just going to beat the crap out of you. I'm just going to steal you and knock you out.
Yeah, it's because Batman is specifically opposing him, not because he considers Batman a criminal. Because a detail a lot of people forget is that Lockup is aware enough to realize that Batman is not is not one of the criminals he's trying to stop. But because Batman's trying to stop him, that's why he's going toe to toe with Batman.
Yep. Same. Freeze does the same. Freeze doesn't interact with Batman unless Batman's actually trying to stop him.
Yep. It's literally that same idea.
All right, we're at 6 minutes and a half. We're almost done. We have a minute left.
No significance, and it was just the writer reusing an idea from the show. While this version of Lockup is fairly similar to the animated series version, ultimately I feel as if the parallels to Batman are lessened. If anything, he feels more like a critique of edgy vigilante characters like the Punisher. This was made all the more apparent by the fact that the writer of almost all of Lockup's pre-Flashpoint appearances, Chuck Dixon, was a prolific writer of the Punisher as well as Batman. The key differences are that the comic book version was expelled from the police academy for excessive brutality, and he has blonde hair, presumably to make him more visually distinguishable from the Punisher. This probably won't come as much of a surprise, but I prefer the animated series version of Lockup, even if he is a bit one note.
I've seen how you treat your prisoners. Forgotten and scared. Without hope or compassion. Can it be you actually care for those creatures? You're just as crazy as they are.
He's a dark reflection of Batman. He's what Batman could be if he lacked compassion and self-awareness.
Yeah, you see?
By holding the dark mirror up, it highlights everything that makes this version of Batman so endearing.
Yeah, it doesn't have to do anything with politics.
Nothing about it being having a certain political angle.
So what's the point of having a fascism thumbnail and saying the right-wing Batman is a guy with no compassion? Like that doesn't have anything to do with politics. There's nothing to do with fascism or having or dislike or not having compassion on some political ideology. That's kind of weird. So is that a clickbait title with a clickbait thumbnail? I don't know.
I am pretty fucking sure.
Yeah. I was like, is this guy going to get into politics? I was like, what is he? Nope.
No, he's just a crazy cop.
Makes 3 references to right-wing media or seeing black and white and things like that, and then just describes the episode as we see it.
Yeah.
Like, he just lacks compassion.
Okay. Guys, if you're going to do a plot analysis or a step-by-step of an episode of any show or any comic or anything, don't lie about it in the title. Don't lie about it in your thumbnail. Just say, I'm going to do a rundown of this show and what I think about it. That's it. Just do that. You're fine. This felt like 90% just play-by-play, like this is what's happening in the story. And like 10%, well, this is my little commentary on it. It's like, which is fine if you're accurate. But like the liberal media is driving him crazy. He's like, the TV was at the time. That's why he knocked it down. But yeah, his views are extreme and he's violent. That's Lockup. He's nothing. He's not too deep of a villain, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be. Here's another one with the Copper Owl. Thank you, sir. I didn't have balaclava when it happened. I do now. Oh. Okay. I mean, people going skiing wear those things all the time, so I can't say it's a bad idea in wintertime, especially. Although there's not too much snow in the famous skiing grounds of Ontario these days, so probably don't need that. Although it is pretty windy. Anyway, that was pretty short. I'm glad we had an easy one. That was, I don't know. I just felt like there wasn't enough substance there. to talk about anything.
At least there's memes.
There are some memes. Yes, let's see
There
what
are
we got.
memes.
Yep.
What do we got? You'll never understand my pain. Sorry, what the hell? What is Batman thinks he's a loner, and then we got Superman.
Do you even know what the one on the left is from?
It's like an Arkham game.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
Technically, with the thinnest of technicallys.
The fucking Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Oh
Oh.
my god.
I haven't played that or seen that, so I don't know what the
Don't.
story is there.
Don't.
Don't? Is that bad?
I'm
Yes!
playing through it right now because a friend gifted it to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's Cyrex sacrificing himself so that we know for sure how terrible this game is.
So far, it's very, very generic.
Don't worry, it'll get worse from there.
Oh. Okay,
So
so the joke of this meme is that Superman has it rough.
Like Man of Steel, Dark Knight Returns, and Injustice. The one on the left is Batman fans. The one on the right is Superman fans.
All right.
At this point, they have it both equally as bad.
Okay. The closest the DCAU ever came to making statements were in these episodes, but only on the entertainment industry, not politics in general. These two were about how Hollywood so quickly discarded their actors. Oh,
Those being Beware the Grey Ghost and Mean Seasons.
I remember Beware the Great Ghost. Both those are great episodes.
That is one of my favorite episodes of the show.
Yeah.
Where the Grey Ghost is a fantastic episode.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Livewire is about the ridiculous shit shock jock say, and Eclipse is about the influence celebrities have on public opinion. That is
Yeah.
Justice League.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's talking about the DCAU in general, so yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, and Livewire is from Superman.
Yep. And Livewire is basically a hit at what's his name? He's radio jockey.
I forgot.
Howard Stern. It's a show
Oh,
with Howard Stern.
yep. I remember. Also, wasn't Mean Seasons from Beyond? Or trying to remember.
I think it is from Beyond.
Yeah, that would make sense with DCAU in general. So yeah.
I thought they were going to talk about the first season with Clayface, how they discard their actors, and I'm like, is that the plot of the story, or is that like the literal voice actors not having jobs anymore from the series? Not sure.
Okay.
Oh no, Mean Seasons is the
Is,
new.
From season four onward, yeah.
Okay.
And the Eclipse episode is like half Glorious Godfrey, half Eclipso. Oh yeah, that was Eclipso's technically quote unquote debut in the DCAU. And then never again. It's
All right.
also, you don't have to constantly tag people in the Smudcast discussion channel, dude.
All right. So here's another one from Serum Lake. That's the guy. This guy would get his own spot on Fox News. Wrote out, bruh, even Fox News would condemn this guy. They're not of the same side. Yeah, I don't know what.
That's what I meant earlier. It's like, really, why like Fox News? That's why I said it's like it would be the news in general. So why Fox News? That's why I said that.
Yeah, I can't see anyone with a criminal record that's known for violence would get their own time slot or be someone who speaks like a commentator on Fox News. That'd be really strange.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Right wing is when what?
Criminals
Right
go to
wing
prison.
is right wing is when criminals go to prison. Faggot.
I was like, what the? Is that all there is to it? Okay. The hammer of justice is unisex. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
that's the great Brave and the Bold famous quote. Who's Batman beating up? I can't remember who it was.
In I forget the
Was
name
Ivy?
of the villain, but it's the bitch that has a man's face.
It's when he's fighting Babyface, and then one of his henchmen looks slightly.
One of his henchmen is a woman that has a man's face,
Yep.
Oh, boy.
and that's why he says, "You wouldn't hit a lady, would you?" And then Batman says that, and it is a woman just with a guy's face.
All right. Batman giving Solomon Grundy. Okay, this is what is this from?
This is Batman's most compassionate moments, and then Batman giving Solomon Grundy a Thanksgiving dinner and long Halloween. Bruce officially adopting Dick Grayson after years as a ward. The resurrection of Damian Wayne after his death by the heretic. Really? Batman officially adopting Tim Drake after the death of Tim's parents, which I'm pretty sure happened like right away.
No, it didn't.
Oh, it didn't? Oh shit, I forgot that.
It took a while.
And Batman comforting Red Hood after the death of Arsenal at Sanctuary. Shit. And it's like, and I think this is a response to Smudge saying that Batman has no compassion when he clearly does.
This is after the fact. I'm sure he's got lots of compassion. I was referring to how he apprehends people.
Obviously with the criminal underworld, the thugs and the mafia, of course he's going to rough them up. They're just the lowlives. It's mainly with the super criminals like Freeze, Joker, like Penguin sometimes. All those guys that he's on their level psychologically, and he's self-aware enough to realize that.
Yeah, but he still beats them up.
Harvey Dent too.
We're talking about Batman in general, not. Obviously, in BTS, it's a bit different because you can't.
Batman. That applies to Batman in general.
Right. That's what I mean. Like the stories of him apprehending people is not non-violent. It's like if he outwits the Riddler gives up. He's like, okay, fine, you beat me.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like shatter like Mr. Freeze or Dr. Freeze's face mask. Like he'll kill him. Like he's not going to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like obviously it's not that it's not that it's non-violent. Obviously, there's like he's gonna get into fights with them, but it's the fact that he knows that he's on their level in terms of mental faculties, in terms of mental condition. So it's like he knows when to fight and when to try to sympathize.
Right.
And the cartels and the mafias, they can go straight to the prison with their neck snapped, with their arm, with broken limbs. Obviously not neck snapped. That's lethal. But you get what I mean.
All right. So still Golden Age, not Silver Age. Also, originally he was the guy with fear gas gimmick, not the Scarecrow.
Oh yeah. Strange's Golden Age. Well then, thank you for that. Thanks for that fact check.
Oh, and Belle Rev was in Louisiana. But it's
that too.
It's mentioned so often in the Batman comics that I.
Oh yeah, so in terms of Gotham, it is just Blackgate. But I do remember that Wayne Tech does invest into Belle Rev as well. Like we did come up in another Smudcast. I think they go to Belle Rev if Blackgate's full.
Oh my God, what is this?
Lego Batman?
No, the one after it. Oh my God, what is?
No, that's Bat Metal.
Bat Metal?
Batman.
Yeah.
What is this like a cereal? Like what the?
Probably a webtoon or something.
They take Death Clock albums and songs and just do a Batman metal music video with them.
Oh.
Okay, so that's Ivy, Harley, Zatanna, Batgirl, Mystique for some reason.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second. Who's the blue chick?
I don't know who the last one is over there to the left. I don't recognize that one.
All right. Right-wingers have no sense of nuns. Leftists, all white people are racist and all cops are bastards.
I have no sense of nuance.
Well, yeah, but I read it as it's spelled.
Oh, the last character from the Bat Metal thing is Bleeze from the Red Lanterns.
I'm making time for fighting. Isn't that just
also from Bat Metal?
Yep.
Yeah, this is an Arkham reference, I think.
Yes.
I sent the music video to you.
Yeah, we can watch it on our own time. But yeah, it's like it is a Batman reference from the freaking icon on top of the criminal's head.
Drinkers, Chasers, Disney Animation abandoning California. Smud, did you hear that Disney is moving a handful of their animators to Vancouver?
Oh no!
I'm not surprised. Vancouver is the home of the famous.
Not
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it was gonna be home of not this place, or any place you've seen in the movie where it's like, hey, that looks like New York, not New York.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vancouver's used in lots of films. It's same with Toronto. We have our own film studio in Toronto that it's called Hollywood North. It's either Vancouver or Toronto. So, but yeah, not surprised because there's a famous film and animation studio in Vancouver. My friend graduated from there. The guy who did Jurassic Park was from there. So it's been around for a while. So I guess it's cheaper in Canada. It is cheaper. So that's why they come up here.
The frickin' BVS reference from Teen Titans Go.
Oh yeah.
We've seen this before. Yeah.
No.
No, this one, the Teen Titans Go one. Yeah, the first one.
What's your mother's name?
Martha. There's also Martha. And then wait, what's your father's name? Jonathan. My name's Thomas. That one we have seen before. The other one, no. You got a stupid ass on your chest. Cause you forgot. Wait, let me loop it back around so I can read it. You got a stupid ass on your chest. In case you forgot who you are. It's my people's symbol for hope. Hope starts with an H, stupid.
Oh, this is the what's his name?
Babyface and
Babyface and Miss Manface.
Oh, Miss Man.
I'm trying to remember the name of the comedian who did all these skits. He's now doing Batman fires people from the jail.
Yeah.
He hasn't done them in a while, but I mean, he's done like Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Superman. So,
I thought you were attacking me.
Oh my god!
What? Okay, Lego Batman movie, but
All right.
okay.
That is the what? Sorry, what is that from? The
very last one.
Is it Legends of the Dark Knight or is it?
The very last meme that's in there right now is from I think the Lego Batman movie.
It is.
Really, they used the female Robin.
Nope. That's Dick Grayson.
That's
It's
Dick Grayson?
Yeah, they changed it. They changed his appearance here to make him look more distinct from Bruce.
Oh, why?
It is. Yeah, I have no idea. They might as well have used her, but it looks like her, yes, but it's Dick.
Oh my god, I'm confused.
The Lego Batman movie might as well have been Lego Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, that's where. Okay.
Could you imagine a Lego version of that?
Oh my god.
Which I'm surprised they haven't done yet at this point. I'm shocked.
All right. Oh, we got some more super chats. Caporal, I'm also considering to get a job at the county jail. Sorry. All right. I mean, that's where you're going. Go for it, man.
No, we don't need a real world lockup.
Can you imagine wearing the balaclava at work? What are you doing? I'm cold. Leave me alone. Vladimir.
I just before you say the one from Vladimir, I noticed the comment from Keyblade Overlord. Batman holds out hope that everyone can be saved, and he also cannot allow them to hurt other people. Yeah, Batman's compassion for the super criminals in a nutshell.
All right. Right-wing Batman would lobby for concealed carry in Gotham.
I mean, Batman in general is in favor of that. I think no, he's against it.
I think that the liberal the whole idea was that there's so much crime as a result of all the constraints on the city. So you expect gun control and other versions of taxing or tariffs or things being illegal, that there's a gigantic marketplace for a black market for the mob to thrive. So you need this sort of liberal mindset for this to exist.
But let's be fair. Batman isn't against concealed carry lawfully because of any political leanings. Because that was one of the circumstances that created him in the first fucking place.
Yeah, we're not talking about the alternate worlds with Thomas, who was the Batman, and he blew people away with guns. So
it's so stupid when people take the couple discussions Bruce and Clark have had over a personal firearm for self-defense is like, and they make it political when I'm just like, you fucking morons, it's not a political thing. It's a matter of Batman being against it because that's the very thing that created him in the first place.
Right. And for us to understand how Gotham exists as Gotham, we can easily apply that to the basic chain of events that, well, if you outlaw things, they're going to be illegal. If they're illegal, people are going to buy and sell them on a black market, meaning there's going to be dealers of whatever products which are illegal, whether it's a speakeasy, whether it's some thing at the docks, whether it's some guy's basement. They're going to be selling or making things which are illegal because they're illegal. People want them still. So criminals who aren't allowed to use guns or own guns will use them because that makes them a criminal. So this is the liberal mindset of, oh, this is what's going to happen. Or not the mindset, the reality of the liberal mindset. So I imagine because Gotham was modeled after New York, and for me to make sense of all the crime to be as big as much, or as big as it is, especially in the what was the animated version of Batman by Japanese artists. And
was it Batman Ninja?
No, that's another one.
Or Gotham Knight.
Batman Gotham Knight. There's
no, singular Gotham Knight.
There's a Gotham Knight.
Batman Gotham Knight.
Right, and there's multiple. It's an ongoing story where they do flashbacks, but there's a scene where Batman falls into he's hurt. He falls into the gutter, into the sewer. It's a heap of trash, and he gets up, and in his arms are all these guns. He's like, "There's all these guns," and he just starts picking them up, and that's when he calls Alfred, and Alfred comes picks them up. And the next scene is the next animator, and he has this box of guns that he just picked up, and he's using them to trace someone. And I'm like, okay, if you have this much crime, that guns are being found in the garbage by the dozens, you would have to have extremely strict gun laws that would proliferate because they're so valuable in the black market, which is where you get the mobs, which is where you get the organized crime. Because it's the same thing with like a leisure activity like drinking, which we saw in the 20s and 30s with speakeasies in America. Oh, you can't have alcohol, it's bad for you, or whatever the reasoning was. And that didn't stop people. So crime will persist because it's illegal, not because people don't want to do it. Or people want to do it, rather. Anyway, I'm trying to make more value out of what we're talking about, but there's not much here, unfortunately. So, yeah, guys, thanks.
It's because this isn't a political thing. It's just it's an authority thing.
It's one guy who was overzealous in his job and broke the rules, and that was his mentality.
And enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, he was just as twisted as the inmates were, and you could make the argument as a result of the inmates he became that way, but we didn't get enough of his character to figure out his backstory, how he got there. I don't think that was shown as his childhood, or something tragic happened to him in his early adulthood. We don't know. But one-time villain on the animated series, which was fine. Show was great. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. That was a fun little romp into, 30 years ago? Must have been around there. Early 90s. It's got to be around there. Yeah.
This episode of BTAS?
I don't know. I'm just saying Batman in general. The first few years were in the early 90s.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys said it when you started the Smudcast. The episode, Lockups episode is 3rd season, 9th episode.
Yep, in New Batman Adventures.
Was it already New Batman Adventures at that point?
Third season?
No, because it still had the original designs.
BTAS was the first 2 seasons, then New Batman Adventures was seasons 3 and 4.
Really? Could have sworn TNBA was for the design change.
Nope.
Or is it the adventures of the new adventures of Batman and Robin?
New Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Well, that's not
Is
TNBA.
recruited.
That's not TNBA then. New Batman Adventures was the redesign. Adventures of Batman and Robin was still the original art style.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it wasn't specifically TNBA yet. It was getting there, but just almost.
Alrighty. Well, this has been so long ago. I barely remember this episode, so maybe it happened in 93 or 94. Who knows? Anyway, thanks, guys, for the recommendations. Always fun to go over a Batman episode from our childhood. And
Clickbait aside.
well,
Yeah.
that was sad. I don't know why he did that.
It's stupid. It's like again, this isn't a political thing. It's a matter of authority and the responsibility that comes with it that Lyle Bolton very clearly abused for his own desire to punish the criminals.
Yeah. Straightforward story. Nothing complicated. Nothing political. And
No.
I like it when they take versions of the protagonist, like Batman, and go, "This is the dark side of Batman." It's like, yeah, I guess you're right. It's not that dark, but it's pretty dark.
If we do definitely see it in this show, just not in the way that this asswipe was clickbaiting.
Yeah, that's the only thing. He just pretty much did a plot analysis and then gave a little bit of commentary, which
And then two or three lines that mention something political when that's not even there. I mean, Bolton does say, what was the line about the media, the something liberal media? I'm just like, dude, that barely.
pretty much. Anyway, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. Keep the recommendations coming. I don't know what we're doing next time. I think it was a Godzilla thing. I don't remember what the video we were going to cover.
Yeah, that is tomorrow's video, a Godzilla one.
All right. Well, we'll find out. Thanks, guys, for the recommendation, and keep the voting going till we know what we're doing next week. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Later.
Good night.